Hey guys, we're gonna make pone today. I know we all are quarantining, and you just need a little sweet treat sometimes, and that taste of home. So we've been feeling like pone for a while. What we're looking at here is the packages that of the cassava, the grated cassava that I bought at the store, already grated, frozen. So I let it thaw out. And for one recipe, excuse me, you'll need 2 bags of the cassava to 1 bag of the grated coconut. Make sure it's grated, because they have another one that's shaved and it's like really long pieces. And after it thaws out, that's when you figure it out. And guess how I know? Yes, I bought it. So grated coconut, grated cassava, 2 bags, and grated coconut, 1 bag. All right, so here we have our mixture. So to this mixture, I've added the 2 packages of the cassava, the 1 pack of the coconut grated, 1 cup of flour, 1.5 cups of brown sugar, vanilla. I like this vanilla. Here we go. And I also like to add some almond essence. This one has a little bit of rose water. It's kind of nice, so I like to use that also. Up to you. I've melted butter. Make sure your butter is melted and almost liquid when you put it in. Then it incorporates a lot better. Also, I've added 1 can of carnation and half to 1 can of condensed milk. I added 3/4 can to mine, depending how sweet you like it, but I'm saving this for a snack later with some crackers. Shout outs to my niece. Crackers and condensed milk is life. Okay, so back to this. I've also added a teaspoon of salt, and pretty much what I'm going to do now is just mix it, and we'll come back to that. Now when you're mixing it, you want to have like a really runny consistency, almost like you're making pancakes, you know, pancake batter or a cake batter. If you find it's a little bit firmer than that, feel free to add water, or if you have coconut milk handy, you can add that to make it a bit richer. You can always cut back on the sugar, and I forgot totally about the spices. The spices that I added to this was cinnamon, 1 teaspoon, allspice, 1/2 teaspoon, clove, 1/2 teaspoon, and nutmeg, 1/2 nutmeg, freshly grated. Again, you can double up on your spice, cut back on spices, that's okay. Just don't cut back on the flour or the cassava to coconut ratio or the liquid, because if you say you want to make it less sugary, just if you cut down on the liquid, let's say for the condensed milk, just add water in place of that, okay? Because you need it to be this consistency. That's the key to pone, having the right consistency. As it cooks, you want it to firm up. You don't want it to be sticky, or you don't want it to be too hard and dry. Okay, I'll go prepare my pans, and we'll be back shortly. So one of the problems with making pone, a lot of people always complain to me that the pone sticks to the pan and they can't get it to release. So here's what I do. I grease either the pan or parchment. I like to use parchment because less work, less cleanup. And so I grease this with room temperature butter. Then I dusted it with flour. So you can see the flour is not really moving around. It's stuck to the room temperature butter. Then I take it and I put it in the fridge or freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. And that now has created its own kind of shield. So when the pone cooks, it's going to prevent it from sticking to the paper. And what I do once it's cooked, I flip it over, peel the paper off, and you're good to go. I hope this helps you, but this is how all my cakes come out good. I butter the pan, I flour it, I freeze it or refrigerate it, and it works every time. Never had a problem. Okay, so I've mixed everything here, added the room temperature butter. That's Peter trying to be a movie star. Can you be quiet, Peter? Thank you. Idiot. Anyways, so I've mixed everything and it's a little soft. You can see it, the consistency. This is the important part. If you do this and it runs off the spoon, you need to add more flour. If you do this and it's like a big clump, it won't shake off, you need to add more liquid. And also, if you're not sure if you add enough spices, at this point, you should smell it. Like, you can almost taste your pone at this point because I can smell all the spices, and when it cooks up, it'll be even more fragrant. So this is the idea behind pone. Pone is really like a pudding. So as it cooks, the cassava will absorb the liquid like a little sponge and become gelatinous, and that's when you get that nice kind of mushy center but crunchy outside. And the coconut is what will help it to have that crunch. I've also grated some coconut. Some nutmeg. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks, Michael. Nutmeg, some cinnamon, allspice here. So once I've poured it into the pan, I will dust the top of it with that. All right. I'm setting the oven temperature to 350, not 450, unless you want to roast your pone. So 350, and probably cook about 20 to 30 minutes depending. We'll discuss that process as it bakes. All right. Okay. So now we're putting this, thanks Mike for the light, putting the sprinkles on. Of course the nutmeg is too chunky, so just go ahead and turn it over. I just did that so evenly incorporate. And there you go. I wish you guys could smell it, but when you make your own, you'll know what I'm talking about. Make sure I get it all off the paper. Waste not, want not, right guys? I hope you guys have been spending a lot of time with your family. I know everybody's complaining they have to stay home, but spending time with your loved ones and baking and loving on each other and prayer. I think that's really important right now. So, and pone, of course, pone. Okay, so the pone is all ready. The oven has been preheated to 350 and we're ready to go. Just for your information, my pan is 2.5 inches in thickness by 10 by 14. And for the recipe that I posted, it fills the pan exactly. As you can see, with a little bit of space for a little bit of rising, because the pone sometimes rises a little depending on where you live and the altitude. But I do get a little bit of rise out of it. Maybe I'll get like a centimeter or so out of it. and we're ready for the oven. I've placed a pone in the center rack of the oven, and I'm going to cook it for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I'm going to start to look at it. You want it to be firm, but a little jiggly. It's kind of tricky because I've taken it out before too early and it's gotten a little runny on me, but don't worry, if that happens, you can stick it back into the oven, no problem. Pone can be cooked after it's taken out of the oven. It doesn't damage it or ruin the flavor or texture. So you want it to be firm on the sides. It's the center part that you want to have a little jiggle but still be firm. Okay. Hey guys, so it's been about 20 minutes. I can know it was 20 minutes because I could smell the pone. It has a little jiggle to it, not much. The ends are not moving at all, and a little bit of cracking. You see that? So what I'm going to do is crank up the oven to 350 and leave it for another 5 minutes to get brown on the top. You know what? I might do 355 to speed it up because it's ready right now to come out. So let it get brown on the top, 5 minutes, and we'll check on it then. So it's been about 5 minutes. The pone is out of the oven. You might be tempted to cut a piece right now, but please let it set at least 15 minutes before you cut it. You can see I'm getting like a rubbery bounce back, but towards the center it's a bit softer, but still firm. Like my finger won't go through it. So then you know it's completely done. It's got that like rubberiness. And as it dries, this top will get a bit more like kind of crusty. So let's let it rest for a bit. What I'm gonna do is take it out of the pan. I'm just gonna lift this up and then put it on the counter, let it cool, and then I'll flip it over, peel off the parchment, and slice it in about 15-20 minutes. Another thing I wanted to talk about with pone, you know, from island to island it varies. Some people put ginger, grated ginger in their pone, which is delicious. Some people put pumpkin, pureed pumpkin in their pone, also delicious. There's so many varieties. The key ingredients though that you want to maintain with your pone is the cassava and the liquid and the flour, because that is what gives you this rubbery, bouncy kind of a pone. So pumpkin pone is really good. One day I'll make that. Some people put raisins in their pone, you know, dried fruit, so many varieties, but this is the one we made today. I hope you're gonna make this with your family. Take a time out from all the news and negativity that we're facing, and you know, enjoy this with your family with a cup of tea. Make them laugh. My house smells amazing, and I hope that you will make this with your family too. Thanks for watching. Take care. Our next video will be chicken chow mein. Told ya, just peels off. See the consistency? So it's not quite cool, it's still warm. It's been about 15 minutes. I just want to show you. And when I squish it, so as it cools, it will firm up even more. This is like still about, I would say, maybe 250 degrees on the inside, still quite warm to the touch, but I love it when it's a little warm, the pone. You guys, oh, it's perfect. Not too sweet, If you like your pone really sweet, adjust the sugar. But this one is just sweet enough that you can taste all the cassava and the coconut. You can add more coconut if you like. Some people do like a crumble on the top because they like that. And the end of the pone, you know, people fight for the ends. Well, I'm gonna enjoy this with a cup of tea. And you guys, please enjoy the rest of your day.